And welcome back. Well, our next guest has been a reviewer of mysteries and crime fiction for publications such as Publishers Weekly and Mystery Scene magazine for several years. Last year, Erica Ruth Neubauer wrote her first book in the Jane Wonderly mystery series, Murder at the Mina House. And tomorrow is the release of her new book in the series. It's called Murder at Wedgefield Manor. And we are so happy to welcome Erica back to the Morning Blend. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here again. Let's chat about this. Okay, so I want to get into your book first, and then I definitely want to talk about your awesome background, which I love too. So I just wanted to tease people that I want to bring that up. But first, let's talk about this second series because your first book was set in Egypt. And based
Yes.
on some of the secrets that were revealed, your characters are not going back to America. It's now set at an English manor. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, based on what we found out, I wanted to move them to where they could spend some time with family, let's say. And an English manor house was perfect for it.
Perfect. Okay, so give us a little background. Who are your characters and what are they doing in this next series?
So my protagonist is Jane Wonderly. She's a widow of the First World War. She often has been traveling with her Aunt Millie. So that's who she's in England with right now, staying at this manor house. She's in this book, she's taking flying lessons. So she's flying around in a little yellow biplane, which is super fun. And of course, joined by the mysterious Mr. Redvers to solve a new murder of a servant at the manor house.
All right. Okay. So as we kind of get into it, I mean, I wonder as a writer, do you find at the end you have like a favorite scene? Like you just wrote the book and you look back on it, you're like, that's it. That's my favorite moment in the book.
I do. I mean, I always have a couple of scenes that I really, really enjoy and had so much fun writing. But for me, one of the end scenes of this book was definitely my favorite.
Ooh, I like that. It's not in the beginning, it's not in the middle. You got to wait for that one. A lot of authors we've heard talk about just how their writing has changed during the pandemic. Is that something that's true for you as well?
Absolutely. I've really found it difficult to write. I'm glad I had this already written because I have found it really difficult to write during the pandemic. Although I think that's starting to get better. I think as things open up and the world feels a little more hopeful, I think it's starting to get better.
That's exciting. And you were also nominated on your first one, The Murder at Mina, what is it, Mina House. You
Yes.
were nominated for a Lefty Award for Best First Novel. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I actually found out this last week that I'm also nominated for Best First Novel for an Agatha Award.
Which is very cool because didn't you say that you actually, one of the reasons that you were inspired to write is because you grew up watching Agatha Christie
Yes. Yeah,
or reading?
I'm excited about this. Yeah.
That's very cool. What a cool full circle experience in life. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about your background because I think this is fascinating. Your father was a police chief, right? For like
Correct.
22 years. You were in the military for 11 years, a cop for 2 years, and also an English teacher as well. And I wonder, writing mystery, how much of the experiences that you had, whether in military or as a police officer, you bring into writing your mysteries and kind of the murder parts of things.
I think I'm definitely drawing on all of those, especially my experiences with different kinds of people, and some of the characters I met doing all of those jobs. You're always running into some really interesting characters. So I'm definitely drawing on all of that. Although this is a lot lighter, the series is a lot lighter than one might think, given my background as a military or as a cop. Because I wanted this to be something that was fun to read and totally escapist.
Yeah, and thank you for your service as well. I think one of the other things that I loved about your background, is it true that now you have your private investigator license too?
I do. I got my license right before COVID struck, so I haven't had very many cases to investigate because the world shut down. But I have been doing some investigating cases.
I think that's fascinating. The fact that you're doing all of those things as well as writing a book, and it seems so seamless, with those sorts of jobs and then the type of writing that you're doing. What's next in your series? Will there be another one in this series, or are you starting a new one?
There will. Book number 3 is actually already turned in, and you will find Jane and Redvers on a transatlantic cruise.
Awesome. So you've got an event coming up. I'm going to give everybody the information, but it was great to see you again, Erica. And Carol Barrelman says hello as well.
Oh, hello, Carol. Thank you so much.
Yeah, she loved your first novel too. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. And again, Erica Ruth Neubauer's new novel is called Murder at Wedgefield Manor. And you can learn more about Erica and the book at a virtual book event. It's going on tomorrow night. It's at 7 o'clock. All you have to do is go to boswellbooks.com to register for more.